So this video is gonna be a vlog. I'm gonna share with you different things that and different projects I've been working on the past week. And yes, I hope you will enjoy it.
Try to get you off my mind. We've known each other for a little while, and it lights me up just to see you smile. And I see
Cardigan.
You probably don't even think of me, so I'll just keep daydream. I'll just keep living in my daydream. I know that I should tell you, but I just can't. I heard you singing the other night, pouring your heart out and getting it right.
You've been like this for a while.
Yeah, I've been very curious about your trade, and I'm looking at the construction of them.
Thank you.
But I'm not super convinced anywhere around right now.
No, me neither.
We'll see what we end up doing.
Yeah, we've been researching for like
Yeah, I can
2 hours. This is a Swift that I got from my mom. Like, she had it, so it probably has like 40 years or something like that. But it is quite quite broken. Like,
yeah, like we have to somehow fight our way through the technical difficulty.
because this stay you see, and what it is supposed to be is like that you kind of like screw this thing, and it kind of slowly opens, you know.
Yeah, it's
But
broken.
and these are open. It's just these two are broken.
Yeah, but it could be fixed.
I was thinking to buy a new one because this is very useful. This is the most useful tool. Okay, just gonna give you a little knitting update because I'm kind of undecided and I have a lot of things that I want to talk about. So here we are. It's early morning. I'm having some little cup of coffee. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I've been working on and what I want to cast on. This project, I've been knitting on it on and off for 2 weeks. This is, I don't know how much you can see. Now I'm knitting on the left front side. I've already knitted the right one. This is the back. So it's a little entangled situation here. But so this is my Agnete, I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing this correctly, I guess. Cardigan by Petite Knit. And it's a brioche cardigan. I've never knitted brioche before. I was pretty like intimidated, I would say, and I kept putting it off and I couldn't find the perfect yarn for it. So I'm knitting this pattern and this project as part of a knit-along that I'm hosting called Movie Knits Knit-along Basic. It's about knitting something that you've seen in a movie or in a series, a show, you know, anything, something that a character had or was wearing. And I got inspired by the movie Knives Out, the first one. I love that movie. I watched it 3 times with different people and I love it every time. There are so many great knits, like so many. And what I really liked was the outfit that the main character, Marta Cabrera, was wearing. And at the beginning, I think she's wearing this beautiful lilac cardigan, and it's a brioche drop shoulder cardigan. I looked at different patterns online and I was kind of undecided. I didn't really want to knit this one because I read the specifications and I saw that it was brioche and it was fairly difficult. And so I was like, shall I dive into this new adventure, knitting adventure? But I really liked the way that pattern looked, and it's so similar to the construction and to the look of the Knives Out cardigan. But the Knives Out cardigan is kind of this color. It's kind of like a lilac, violetish lavender color. And I looked for like 2 weeks. I was searching for the right yarn, searching and searching, and I couldn't find the one that was really like talking to me until I saw on Instagram that Nina from the A Crafter's Tale podcast, she has a beautiful podcast, I recommend it. She was selling some of her stash yarn. She was selling 4 skeins of this beautiful color. I have another cardigan that has a very similar shade, but this is kind of like, it's a bit darker and it's really the color of the common mallow. It's a beautiful color. It's like a mauve, beautiful color, and it's a bit different. I mean, it's a lot warmer, a lot towards the pinkish side compared to the, violet-y lilac. But I decided to pair it with the silk mohair and use this instead of a lilac one. So the cardigan is very similar, but the color is not exactly the same. But I really love it, and I learned different techniques. I learned to knit brioche and I'm hooked for real. Like, it's so entertaining and it's actually it's fast. I mean, it's not as fast as simple stockinette or ribbing, but I really love it. I love brioche. Also the squishiness of the fabric. I love how the increases look. Look at this, how pretty. And another technique I learned was the double knitting. So the neckline, don't mind here, but the neckline and the bottom band is worked in a double knit. When I received 4 skeins of this beautiful hand-dyed yarn, it's a yarn she hand-dyed with plants from her garden. And I love it. It's 100% German wool, I think. And I had 1 skein of this mauve silk mohair. This is Drops Kid Silk. I had 1 skein of this in my stash, and I knitted a swatch 2 weeks ago and it matched perfectly. I mean, the color is basically the same. And so I decided to cast it on immediately, even if I didn't have enough silk mohair, and then I would buy it, so it would come. You start knitting the back and you knit it for back and forth. And at this point, where you can see this line, I finished the silk mohair. And so I decided to experiment with another, it was more like a pinkish, lighter silk mohair. And that's why there is this line. And I don't mind it, so I didn't rip it back when I received the rest of the yarn. Yeah, I just left it there. It's just a little stripe. Yeah, sometimes I'm too impatient to wait for the yarn to arrive, but I'm so excited to work on this, and I've been basically working on this only. I worked on a pair of socks, but I love this, and I finished 2 jumpers the past weeks, so this is kind of like my main project right now. And I love it. I really love it. I think I'll knit it again in another color, maybe a plant-based fiber. I'll use a plant-based fiber, so more for like the summer. And it's beautiful. So I haven't done modifications, but my gauge is slightly looser. So can you say that? My gauge is 17 stitches and the pattern's gauge is 19. So I'm knitting the smallest size, so it will become bigger, like an SM. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm using needle size 3.5 instead of 3, I think, millimeters, something like that. But I love this, and it requires a little bit of attention. I mean, it's a really well written pattern, to be honest, so it really guides you, but it's a bit, it's not 100% beginner friendly, I would say. I'm done with one skein. I have 4 skeins of this beautiful hand-dyed yarn, and I'm about to start a new one. So I already finished one, and I'm not even halfway through the yoke part. I didn't even divide for the sleeves, so I'm really hoping this will be enough, but it should. I mean, it's 300 meter per 100 gram each skein. I think I have enough, otherwise I'll crop it a bit, or I'll make it, the sleeves, I'll make them a little bit shorter. We'll see. Yarn Chicken Queen again. The problem is that I'm very done with caking hanks or skeins like this by hand. I don't own a ball winder, you call it like that, and my Swift here, it's half broken. It's a pain to use, but I've been using it, because I needed it. And so I decided to make it help me too. And kind of is part of also, it's kind of his gift as well. So we both invested some money in buying some wool binder, but ball winder. Wool binder? ball winder, and a Swift. We found the Swift secondhand. I thought I didn't need it. We could, repair the one I have. But I thought we found the Swift secondhand and we just bought it. And I'm so excited. And I'm also very excited to get the ball winder because I need it. I'm so tired to deal to cake up or ball up hanks like this by myself. It just takes so much time and it's so boring. To be honest, I would rather spend that time doing something else or knit. And so I'm kind of like waiting. If it doesn't come by the end of this week, I'll cake it by hand. I have 2 more as well to cake. But anyhow, we continue this update, right? I want to cast on a project because me and Malene from the Nomad Knitter podcast, she's a new podcaster. She has a beautiful channel. I love her authenticity, her calm spirit. She has a beautiful channel. Check her out, and a beautiful energies as well. And we were talking about the last pattern that was released by Jessie Made Designs. It's a designer that I really love and want to support. And I've knitted many of her patterns. Her patterns, the ones I knit, are so well written and very size inclusive. And she released this new design, which is a very simple drop shoulder 4x4 ribbed sweater, and it's knitted on a worsted weight, I think. Let me check. Yeah, worsted weight yarn, but she said Any bulky weight yarn should work. You could also use mohair, held double or triple, DK held with mohair, or even a single strand of worsted or Aran knit at a looser gauge for an airy sweater. Airy, I'm very bad at pronouncing airy and hairy. Like, do you understand? Those two words, I have some problems. I mix them and sometimes doesn't really make sense, you know. But a very like light sweater, right? So the gauge is 12 stitches and 18 rows. So it's knitted with a needle size 6 millimeters or any knitting needle to achieve gauge. And I was thinking to knit this project with a beautiful yarn that I ordered, and it's this. Let me put the label. No. So this is the yarn that I want to use. Is Wool Silk by this, not even trying to pronouncing it, this brand. And it's 75% organic lamb's wool and 25% silk. It's from Denmark and is a non-molesin wool, and it's organic. It's wonderful. I love this, and it's like a cream color. And I was thinking, now don't get scared. Look at my silk mohair, how it looks. Mita, my dog, loves yarns, and apparently these days is attacking them brutally. This is the situation. This is going to be very hard for me to deal with, but I have to find systems to hide silk mohair from her. But anyway, I decided I wanted to pair these two yarns together. So this is a lace-way yarn, silk mohair, and this is a fingering way yarn. It's 50 grams and 300 meters, so it's light fingering, right? So I decided to do a little swatch, and I decided to first try to knit holding this single together with the silk mohair, and then I've done holding it double together with the silk mohair. So as you can see, the gauge is a little bit different, but I'm not like, I didn't achieve gauge. I think I would like to skip the silk mohair and pair these two together. I love this. This is a yarn I showed before. It's the Townhouse yarn, hand dyed. The color is Toffee Pop. And look, this. The colors are exactly what I'm here for right now. I love all of these colors. This light pink, violet-y, and oranges and creams. I love it. But this is lace weight, so it's kind of like the same way as the silk mohair, tiny bit thicker, I would say. It's a 55% merino and 45% silk, 100 grams, 800 meters. So I would need in total about 500 meters for this sweater, I figured. And if I hold these two together and use this a size 5.5, I knitted this swatch with a size 5.5 millimeter needles instead of 6. I could try to do another little swatch with needle size 6, and maybe I'll achieve gauge, but I don't really care. I think I'll use 5.5 millimeter needles and knit a size bigger. That's what I do usually. So I was thinking to knit like an M or something. So I will get an S, maybe. I don't really mind, like it's still gonna be a very lightweight and airy, hairy, yeah, you understood, garment. So yeah, I was thinking to, you know, combine these two. But again, I need a ball winder because for the love of Mother Nature, I cannot wind up 800 meters by hand. I've done it before, but it's just endless. And I mean, I need to value my time. I'm a prolific and, creative knitter, and I deserve a tool that helps me out. Malina, she inspired me to actually buy a ball winder. I keep mixing these two words, sorry. She inspired me in one of her recent videos. She got one, ball winder, and I was like, I want one as well. I've been putting it off. I thought it's not as necessary to have it as, it's not necessary to have it. And so I would keep putting it off, but in the end it's so useful. And I talked to Mike about it, and he was like, absolutely, we buy one. And we found it also secondhand, so it feels a bit better also for, the environment, I guess, and for our wallets. I'm so excited to cast on this, and yarn everywhere. And we decided to do a little knit along together. And if you want to join, you can tag or post some pictures or reels on Instagram and add the hashtag Jessie got me dressed call knit along. I think it's a really funny and cool and appropriate hashtag, because this knit along is all about knitting any patterns of the beautiful designer Jessie made. She has beautiful patterns for both for all seasons. So there are tops for the summer and for the spring, and then there are hats and jumpers, and beautiful. And her patterns are size inclusive, so well written, and they use beautiful yarns and beautiful techniques, and they're very simple. Actually, the first pattern that I ever followed was the ripple bralette. I mentioned it before so much in my channel because it's such a simple, top, ribbed top, very simple, nothing, pretentious, but it's so nice, and you can knit it with many different yarn weights, and I love it, and it looks beautiful on all bodies. So if you don't know what to knit and you want to knit like a top or even like an undergarment for yourself, maybe it's not super supportive, it's not like a supportive bra, but it's a beautiful top, and you can start from there. And I think the price will be another hover pattern. That's what we kind of agreed upon, but we'll see. And the knit along will last until the end of May maybe, but we will keep talking about it, and you'll see my progress on this sweater. And maybe I'll knit other patterns from her. Yeah, let's knit something together. Jessie got me dress knit along if you want to participate. Malene is the host with me. So yeah, and she's gonna knit the big rib. Sorry, this sweater is called the big rib sweater. And let me show you how it looks. I could insert a picture, but I have it here. So it's a really beautiful, simple sweater. But yeah, so I'm kind of like blocked, not really, but I'm at that point that I wanted to knit, but the projects I want to knit on need to have the yarn caked up. But yeah, so I was thinking to either pair these two together or these two. I could also do triple, but I think it's a little bit of a waste. Yes, so this is the update.
So I'll just keep living my daydream. I'll just keep living my daydream. I know that I should take like a trick. This longing for you makes me sick, so I'll just keep.
Okay, I'm sitting here in the garden and I just decided to cast on this project, the Big Rib sweater by Jessie Made to Design, and I just love it. So I balled up a little bit of this beautiful townhouse merino and silk blend. I decided to hold these three together. So a silk mohair, the townhouse yarns, merino and silk blend, and the lambs and silk blend here. And it's quite an expensive project, but I was so in love with the fabric when I swatched it, and so I decided to just cast it on. This is the back side of the work and I love it. I really love it. Really love the fabric. It's very silky, very soft and light, but it's gonna be warm because there is also the silk mohair. So little cutie project out here in the garden. I'm gonna keep on knitting a little bit and then I'm gonna make some food.
I'll just